Hi. So today the main topic is the logging system. So actually, I prefer taking video with using my laptop, but I already forgot taking this video yesterday. I was really tired. I slept in my car at like 11 p.m. or something like that, and I woke up at 10 a.m. So I just I'm just really tired. So I'm just like pushing myself to take some kind of video that requires for the more hard effort because I didn't take a video yesterday. So today the main topic is that the logging system. The reason why we need some kind of logging in the front end, especially the web development, the client, is because what I believe is actually related to the development, but also the business. What do you mean by that? Our most of like the great tech companies, they build up using the lean startup strategy, which is like kind of Silicon Valley based popular business strategy. And what is that? Lean startup is basically is customer based development model. Which stands for that you don't know anything about customers. It's basically luck. So, but you really have to think about what customer needs. So you make some kind of the MVP first that really that customer likes, and after that, based on that, you measure if that user likes it. Example, you think that user will do something in your website, but if user did not, and if the retention rate is really low, so then there's a learning process. You learn that your web application has really low retention rate, so that means the user don't like your feature. So you have to pivot that you have to like switch in another feature of it. So that's basically what lean startup is. And but why this is kind of related to the client is because the measure thing is and actually can made it by the front-end logging system. So but there's a like many like logging platform like PostHog, like Google Analytics, but the problem is that it's actually the event based. Example, if you have a button here, then you make hypothesis that user will like this button, do you whatever stuff. Then you put some kind of event-based logging hook on here with the fetcher. When user click this button, you put the logging system on here. But bad thing is that this is already event-based. So and also means that the data is gonna be made per the clicking the button, even the single button. But that's great. But the problem is that if the data is really enormous, and if it is like single data per the event, and basically there's a lot of data, and I think my problem, this problem is that the size of data is big, but there's no kind of readability on it. So the PM, the product owner, has to be like collect this data and guessing out what user needs, and the filter out the data that is not useful. But that is kind of tedious for me. So my question is, why don't I make some kind of logging system but not event based? I'm just gonna give an example of our service. We're gonna launch on this September, July. This is how it looks. It is very empty. So in our service, there's a sign up button, right? And the sign up button, and after sign up button, there's like curriculum here. After curriculum, there's like chapter one, and there's markdown. You can press some kind of some kind of like click, run, click, and you can run the Python in your web application. But this order flow is valid only if user clicks sign in button. But after that, the Python, this kind of like markdown and chapter page is valid only if the user click this kind of cards. And of course, user can have preference of the card because user will like Python, but some of the user likes another curriculum. And those kind of thing I think has priority. But rather than making an event base, we're gonna put event base also, but rather than like focus on the event, why don't we like guessing this flow? The first time, so my how do I say it? So what I would think about those kind of things is, why don't I choose kind of data structure that's suitable for this user flow? So first one is the binary tree. So what is binary tree? It's really simple. It's just a tree data structure, but the node that has to be inserted and has to be compared to the compared node. Example, you're gonna insert the node which is 10, and the root node is 11. The 10 is smaller than 11. You go left. For example, if it's 12, you go right of the 11. So those kind of things. But since this is valid because there's a priority on the service, for example, the sign-in button has high priority. And what I mean priority? So let's say just like this priority equals to the business impact. This has massive business impact because user has to click this login button to see our product. So this is really because even though we make some kind of good service, like good feature on our application, but user can only see our great feature after the login. So I think this is really has high business impact, which is also high priority. So I put the login button as a 100 high priority. And let's say in our next page is the curriculum, right? But there's a main button. So as I saw this, I look at this. This is not really just a button. This is the button, but the navigation, right? But I believe this is the button, but with a feature on it. So I put the A, B, C, D, E, F on the feature. So these are the features. And of course, this has lower business impact and lower priority than the login button. But also there's a it also have big priority on it. So let's say curriculum. It is a 99. Curriculum 8. Curriculum B 98. Curriculum. Let's see. Curriculum C 98, 98, 97, 99. So example, if the login button is here and the curriculum A is going to be 98, the curriculum B is 97, curriculum C is 99. So it's really nice, but the problem is that yes, it's good, but the making this with the code is kind of hard. Example, you have to know about binary tree, and also I'm not like all of the engineers know binary tree, but the thing is that you have to this one has to be hard coded because the priority has to be stored in our client code. But this is the issue. But so if the priority changes, for example, there's a new product, right? So somehow it has higher priority than curriculum A, B, C, and those kind of binary tree that we defined will be collapsed and remade because the other fetch is going to become. So that is not good for the not going to be our login system flow. And also the binary tree is really for the search, not for the like making the flows of it. Like because of the extension of the binary trees are like B3 and the B plus tree, right? It's used for the DB indexing too, but so I don't think this is right for us. And I was looking at some kind of other data structure, and I finally made conclusion that the graph data structure is most and is very suitable for our logging system flow. So that's our the graph data structure we're gonna use is called DAG, directional, acyclic, and graph. To draw the drawing for DAG is very simple. So this kind of example of the DAG. You have A and B, C. Since this is directional, you cannot go back to the B. You cannot go back to the A. So this is flow, and this is really really easy and really understandable. And also, there are a lot of people, a lot of institutions use DAG, but I believe not logging system, but it widely using even in the medical center. Because what do I mean by example like COVID-19, the people are wondering which one is the biggest factor that people get the COVID-19. So they make some kind of DAG. I saw in the research paper that to make some kind of like relationship on it, and they guess those kind of know equals the interest of the behavior, and those kind of flow represent and your hypothesis should be matched with those kind of flow. But those kind of thing is really kind of valid because we have this kind of the page up here. Example, there's a login page, right? If you click button, so there's gonna be next page. And after that, the choosing learning path and those kind of curriculum cards are also is kind of node here. So we can just make multiple nodes because the graph can have multiple edge on here. After that, we can just make some kind of chapter, but like the other node that describes this kind of feature, A and B here. These are chapters, so those kind of graph is making a balance. So I think we're gonna choose this kind of DAG logging system for the user flow, and I know the even lots of company, even the Google and the Facebook didn't choose kind of logging system. Not choose, but they don't use this kind of logging system. But we're just gonna try to use it because we are really a startup, and I don't know what happens. So we're just gonna use it. But if it is not, we're just gonna trust it. This doesn't have, even though we trust this, there's no big dependency on it, so we can just do the people thing. So this is it. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.